Should you buy a Gibson Les Paul or an other brand's style Les Paul guitar? So I've been playing guitar for around 11 years, and I've owned way more guitars than anyone ever should, and I'll be giving you a more objective opinion to if you should try out a Gibson Les Paul guitar as your next purchase, or a different brand's version of the Les Paul, and why. Here is the Les Paul from Gibson that stole my heart as a Les Paul and Gibson hater! So a lot of people get scared away by Gibson's price tag and reputation of the brand having very poor quality control, and I'm not going to disagree with that at all. So for that reason, a lot of people will pursue brands like LTD, Ibanez, Epiphone, and many other brands that beat Gibson's price, quality control, and specs. So now that you know that other brands beat Gibson on those statistics, why would you still buy a Gibson, you might ask? Well, why might you buy two Gibsons, you might also ask. So time-wise, in my 11 years of playing, I've spent essentially a full-time job just browsing guitars and trying out every instrument I could, and learning to understand the differences, the benefits, and what I like and what I don't like. So let's start with things to dislike about Gibson. Other than the things I already mentioned, there's also the fact that they often have a vintage design, which means the guitars are heavier, the necks are harder to play, they're less lovable. So why would anyone in their right mind own two of these ugly instruments then? When brands like LTD have such thin necks and weigh significantly lighter and have way better specs, and same with Ibanez, same with Harley Benton, Epiphone, whatever you may name. So while those brands have better specs and better price points and all that I mentioned, here's what I dislike about the guitars I've tried from those brands. So let's start with Epiphone and why I bought a Gibson Les Paul instead of an Epiphone one. So I've tried the Epiphone's classic series Les Pauls, I've tried their standard, their pro, whatever naming scheme they use. I've tried all of them and I've worked on maintaining them, I've worked on repairs on them. I know the guitar's ins and outs. So my first concern with every Epiphone Les Paul I've tried is all of them are just covered in this finish that just feels gross and it makes the guitar so much heavier, and I was not vibing with it. Now next is the pickups. So while most Epiphone Pro series guitars offer a push-pull pots for split coil voicings and really cool tones, the overall sound of the pickups just never clicked with me. Like, it's definitely placebo for the most part, but over the years of nearly buying an Epiphone Les Paul, it just didn't click with me. Now, that doesn't at all mean that the guitar is bad, it's just not what I'm looking for. So for you, you should try out an Epiphone Les Paul and give it a shot, maybe you will love it. Next I want to go over the LTD Eclipse. I tried the Eclipse in 3 different price points. Overall, the pickups sound amazing, the guitar feels very sleek, very smooth, very fun to play, I have to admit. In my opinion, it's way better than all the Epiphone Les Pauls out there. But the thing about the LTD Eclipse is if you already have a guitar with an EMG 8185 set and a very fast playing neck, then you already essentially have the LTD Eclipse and a different guitar. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't feel like a Les Paul at all to me, and it just felt like any other guitar, which for me wasn't what I was looking for, but in terms of specs and feel, holy, it beats everything Gibson could ever dream of. So out of these 3 brands that I mentioned, you should definitely try yourself an Epiphone, try yourself an LTD, try yourself an Ibanez, Harley Benton, Epiphone, again, whatever Les Paul style guitar, and find out what you're looking for. Now why did I buy 2 Gibsons, you may ask? So this is my first Gibson. It's an SG Junior from 2014, 2016 around these were made. So as you can see, I've played this one a lot. I love this guitar and I did a lot of fun little upgrades, a lot of maintenance over the years on it. So what's so special about it? Well, number one, it doesn't have the neck dive that other SGs have. Overall, it's a very well-balanced guitar. I've never had like any issues with it like whatsoever, other than Gibson's typical G-string situation. And yeah, overall the neck doesn't feel too thick, it's not glazed, I gave it some polishing, and it's really fast to play. Like overall, this is an impressive guitar. How much did this cost, you may ask? Well, back in these days, my family bought it for me for $600 total, which is an incredible price for these guitars. Like, these resell for like over $1,000 at this point in time. So yeah, zero complaints about these. It's very similar to an SG Tribute from the Gibson line, but this one's a lot lighter, it's a lot better in my opinion. Now, when I was buying this guitar, I was very close to getting an LTD Eclipse or an Epiphone Les Paul Pro. However, brand new, those guitars are just over $1,000 each, Canadian. And yeah, so funny story about this Les Paul. So when I was still in college, university, whatever you may call it, I was browsing Long McQuaid website for Les Paul guitars to see which one doesn't break the bank, in quotations, and which one appeals to me the most, and I just came across this one, magically, somehow. So then about 8 months passed and Jack's Attic sale happens, which is basically their summer sale of like back stock guitars. So I see this thing and I'm like, oh my god, isn't that like the guitar I had saved in my like Google Chrome history like 8 months ago? And I play, like, and first thing I noticed, wow, this one's a lot lighter than any other like Les Paul I've played. Not they're super thin ones; those feel gross, but like, look at this. It's not glazed or anything, but this feels amazing. Like, I love this. Another thing that sold me on this guitar is the neck feels very similar to my SG neck, and I know I like those because you can always sand down whatever buildup is like slowing you. So I played for a while, then I called my dad like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm buying a guitar. And then, yeah, all it took to sell me on this was a 50% sale, so I paid just around $1,000 on it, a little under, I believe, for a Gibson Tribute. That's crazy with all the case candy. So yeah, as far as upgrades go, I just swapped the pickups with the ones in my SG. Yeah, the tone is just slightly different, and Les Pauls are known to sound like the same in both pickup positions. But yeah, my main selling points on my guitar was the fact that I paid less for a Gibson Tribute than I would have for an LTD or an Epiphone or an Ibanez. But overall, the feel of the guitar just felt like a Les Paul, but the neck is not a rock, and the guitar didn't make me feel like my back was gonna snap in half. And yeah, overall, I would recommend you try and find these ones used, but be careful because all Gibsons are different, and I just got lucky that mine wasn't messed up.